Hello and welcome to the MIAKODA bead kit tutorial for the little coup earrings. I am so excited to be showing you guys how to make these. My name is Alexandra. For those of you that don't know who I am, I make each one of these patterns. I'm the artist and owner behind MIAKODA Leather, and these are my own seed bead patterns that I have created to share with you guys so that you can learn how to bead. I do have to go over something with you, a little disclaimer. It's funny that I have to, but I really did have a lady in Bozeman that stole my work and claimed it as her own and sold it to a boutique. So I do have to say that these are my own original designs. The intention of these kits is to teach and inspire, and I do not give permission to copy, sell, or claim any of my designs or products. I'm sorry that I have to say that, you guys, but yeah, it's funny. I've actually had people do that. So I would really appreciate it if you used this just for learning purposes and took it to have inspiration to start making your own pieces. Now, that being said, let's have some fun. So I need to tell you guys, though, I'm deciding to do one little coup bead kit video for all of the different styles. The reason being is because it is the same exact technique for every single pair. I just want you to learn how to read the pattern and also learn how to do each step after that. So once you master this one time, you'll be able to just read the patterns and keep making as many little coup earrings as you want. So that's why I'm doing it this way, just to simplify things, and also because I only have a limited amount of videos that I can upload on Vimeo, so I just want to make sure that I'm utilizing that for other patterns as well. So that being said, I have decided to walk you guys through the little coup rainbow trout tutorial. So the reason why is because it's more of a random pattern. So I want to help those of you out that are doing like the glacier pebble earrings, things that don't have an exact pattern where I tell you what to pick up. But I also will be going over the brown bear little coups with you so that you can learn how, for those of you that are reading a pattern that is exact beads to pick up, you'll learn how to do that. So to start off, we are going to get our pattern, set it next to us. We're going to organize all of our beads, just set them out, and each bag has labels on it, so you'll see like turquoise right here, and that will be your cues on which beads to pick up on the instructions. We're going to take our thread and we're going to put like an arm's length of thread onto the needle and tie a knot at the end. If you can see that, I hope you can. Focus camera. Now we're going to take our beeswax and we're going to run it through the thread. I usually do it 2 times just to know for sure that I got a good coating on there. And yeah, we're going to take our pellon. I recorded this before, so I had to redo it. I have a little bit of a stitch mark already in here from doing it. But yeah, so you're going to take your needle and you're going to put it through the center of your square of pellon. Pull up until you feel that pull from where the knot is. And then we're going to go back down. Doesn't have to be exact, but just somewhere really close to that knot, and you're going to come back through. Okay, and then we're going to go back up through the center again. It doesn't have to be exact, just somewhere in the center. I just do that as an extra locking mechanism, or an extra locking technique, so that the string is nice and secure in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to read the first step. So you're going to read row 1, and for the rainbow trout, it says we're going to pick up 1 white bead. So whatever bead that is for you, you're going to pick that bead up. Okay, so I got my bead. And then we're going to go back down. And we want our bead to be laying flat. Do you see how it's flat right there? So we want our bead to be laying flat, and then we're gonna, go back down the other side. And then we're gonna take our needle, we're gonna go about a half a bead's width away from the previous bead, and we're gonna pull up. And this will be the start of our second row. So for our second row, we're going to pick up a mix of 8 white, black, and light blue beads. So that's for whatever mixed pattern you're doing. You're going to pick up a mix of whatever colors I say to pick up. If you're doing a standard pattern, it might say something like pick up a mix of, well, this is still a mix too. So for this one, it's going to be 8 white or light blue beads. So we're going to do that. So here's my mix of white, black, and light blue beads. So I'm going to pick up 8 of those. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's a mix. No particular pattern, just as many as whatever ones we choose. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go back down right by where we came up. You see that? And then I'm going to pull. You see how it makes a loop? We're going to take our thumb and we're going to pull that loop down just like this. Now you're going to want to maneuver. I actually am going to twist this around. I'm just going to flip this loop around because I want these to kind of overlap each other so that they lay flat. Do you see that? So now I'm going to go up between the first 2 beads that are next to where I came up at and back down. I'm going to put my needle on the outside. See how it's on the outside? So I'm going to go up. I'm going to push that string down through between those 2 beads, and then I'm going to go back down. And now see how those 2 are tacked down? Now I'm going to go and I'm going to do the same exact thing all the way down. So we're picking up on the outside by the next space of beads, and then we're going to go back down. Okay, so then we're going to go up and then back down, up, back down, just tacking them down, up, pretty sure this is the one that, yeah, this is where it wasn't tacked down. Okay. And then up, back down, and we got one more, up, back down. All right, so you see how it's nice and tacked down. You can't lift up any of this with your hand. It's just nice and secure. So now we're gonna go back up, and we're gonna go up right a half a bead's width apart away from the previous row, and we're going to go in the middle of a bead. You see how I'm placing it right in the middle of that black bead? So we're going to do that so that the next beads hopefully line up kind of staggered. It's not a huge deal, but it just makes it look really nice. So now we're going to go to row 3. So for row 3 for the rainbow trout, we're going to pick up a mix of 16 white, black, and light blue beads. For the brown bear little coos, or whichever bead kit you're doing, it'll be different, but this one says to pick up 1 light blue or white because you can mix them. So they're kind of like the same shade of the row before. And then 1 sea foam, and you're going to repeat that 8 times until the circle is complete. So you see how it's a sea foam, a white, a sea foam, a light blue, a sea foam, a white, sea foam, white, and so on. So you're going to pick up whatever beads until your circle is complete and they're laying nice, like perfect shape to line up against the row from before. So for us, we're going to do, the 16 of these guys. And I am going to pick these up and then I will be back. Okay, you guys, I got my 16 beads picked up. So whatever 16 beads you have, it should look something like this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna wrap these beads around. I like to take my thumb and kind of just bunch them so that they're next to each other and kind of form it so that that row wraps around the other circle, like the previous row. Do you see that? It's not tacked down, but I can tell now that I have the perfect amount of beads. If you didn't have enough beads, it would be like really spaced out. It wouldn't be able to complete the circle without, the beads being further away from each other. And if you have too much, it'll leave like a space, like it'll kind of be like that, on the top, and then you'd learn to take off a bead. So if you're doing the glacier pebble earrings or ones that have a mix of different sized beads, you're gonna just want to adjust. So if you feel like your row is a little too long with 16 beads, then take 1 or 2 out and see if that makes it better. If you feel like you need more, then add more. Just do whatever you have to in order to make it to where they lay nice and flat against that previous row. Now I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to pass through. I like to do this. I take my needle, I go by the first bead that's coming up out of that string, and I am going to tack that bead down. I'm going to go down right next to where it came up. See that? Okay, and then I'm going to keep that row flat while I pull it. Okay, it's nice and flat. And as you can see, it's laying really nice. So now I'm going to do that same technique that I did before, where I just go up. And I usually just kind of go wherever the needle goes up for the first row. Like, it doesn't have to be right next to that one that we just came down. Just start wherever you want to, and then just start tacking them down from there on. From here on out, you can do every other row that you tack down, like between every other bead. But I wouldn't go any more than that because it'll start to lift up. Like, you want it to be super, like flush against the Pellon fabric. So you don't want it to be lifting up and stuff like that. So tack either between every bead or every other bead. Whatever you decide to do is totally fine. I'm going to finish this row and then I will see you in row 4. Okay, now for the next row, you're going to read whatever your row says. So like for the brown bear little coos, it says to pick up 24 sea foam until the row is complete. Rainbow trout little coos, we're going to pick up a mix of about 24 black, white, and light blue. So this mix right here, we're still working with that. And then we're going to add a little bit of turquoise to make that belly accent that you see right there. So this is where it's fun for the random ones because you get to just pick up however many you want to pick up. So we're going to do about 24 beads total. And I am actually going to start with the blue because I want to see how much blue I want to add before I go into that lighter section again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 8 and then 9. Now I'm just going to move over to this side. 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm running out of black, so I'm just going to pick up black from this side. 19, 20. I'm going to add a little blue right here. 21, 22, 23, 24. It's just totally up to you where you add it. I love when they look kind of random because it just, to me, it makes it look more natural. Okay, so gonna wrap that around just like I did the previous rows and check to make sure that that is enough beads. So it looks like it is maybe enough beads. Let's see here. Yep, that should be enough beads. So you don't want your row to be crammed tight with beads because then once you tack it down, it's gonna have way too many beads. Like it'll be bunched together and it'll just look really weird and tight. So you do want to have a little bit of a gap there before you complete the circle. I hope I'm explaining this properly. You basically just have to get used to completing the rows. Every time it's the exact same thing, you're just picking up more and more beads each time. So I got my beads. I'm going to go through that first bead that came up, just like last time, and I'm going to tack it down right next to where it came up. And I'm going to press this row down with my thumb, kind of spread those beads out so they all are nice and even next to each other. And I'm going to tack them down. I am going to fast forward until I am done with these next couple rows. And I will meet you guys at row 8. Okay, you guys, so I just got done tacking this row 4 down, but I did want to go over something really quick with the rainbow trout, folks. So it says for row 5, you're going to pick up a mix of about 34 turquoise, black, light pink, and white beads. So you're going to make sure that the blue lines up with the other row. So to do that, you just kind of put your needle wherever you want that blue row to start, and then just pick up as many blue that you want, and then you're going to transition into the pink. So you're going to keep doing the same thing. You're just going to, instead of picking up these ones, you're going to start picking up the pinks. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, I will see you guys after you finish rows 5 through 7. Okay, you guys, so I am almost done with my beads for row 7. And I ran out of thread, so I thought I'd go over how to redo your thread. So what I did was I just flipped it around and I pulled the string through and I tied a knot and then I just clipped it off. And then wherever you want to start next, you could even start in the middle. You just take your new thread that you did, and I forgot to wax mine, so give me a second. So this next thread that you take, just put it anywhere that you want to put it. Like right here, looks like it should be tacked down. So I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to tack this bead down with that new thread. And then I'm going to start where I left off. So I am going to start right here because I need to tack this down. So you're just basically going to do exactly what we did in the beginning, and then just place it wherever you need to. And now I'm just going to finish stitching this row. Okay, so now we are on to row 8. So for the rainbow trout little coos, you're going to pick up 1 diamond brass bead, 5 brown beads, and repeat 8 times till complete. Brown bear little coos say that you're going to pick up 1 diamond brass bead and then 5 3-cut brown beads and repeat that 7 times until complete. So it's basically the same exact thing. And for both of them, you might only have room for 4 of the 9-cut beads. So whatever pattern you have, they're all usually the same type of bead for this row. So you might just have to adjust to however many you can fit on here, because these beads aren't always sized exactly the same. So we're going to pick up 1 diamond bead, and then we're going to pick up 5 of these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to pick up 1 diamond, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 diamond, 1, 2. See if I could fit this on there. 3, 4, 5. So it should look something like this when you're going down. And repeat that 7 times until you have enough for your circle. And then you're gonna do exactly what you've been doing this whole time, and you're just gonna stitch them down. Or tack them down, sorry guys. 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do this whole row with you because I want to see at the end how many I have room for, so I could show you what to do. 5. Okay, and I like to just lay them like this. Once I get to larger sections, I just kind of let them lay down like that. So now I know I have like 1 or 2 more brass beads to pick up. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 1 more. So I picked up 5. And we'll see if I can fit them all. Yeah, that actually fits perfect for me. Maybe it might be a little bit too many. I'm gonna pull this tight. No, that looks pretty good. But if yours ends up being where, you know, it's like kind of laying like to where the last bead's right here, you're obviously gonna wanna take one off so that they lay nice, just like that. So just pretend like it's the same delicate beads that you've been working with, and you're going to do this exact same thing. You're going to go through that brass bead, tack it down, make sure that they're all laying nice. See how nice that looks? And then I'm just going to go through and tack them. And I will see you for the next step, which is going to be the edging. So I'm just going to finish tacking this up. And then once I'm done, well, I'll just meet you guys there. Okay, so before I am done with this row, I forgot, I really want to tell you guys, it's important to not like let your needle come out like even that close to it, to the edge, because you're going to be cutting this row off. You're going to be cutting around it. So you don't want to be cutting your thread. So you want to make sure that when you're going up, you're almost coming from underneath that row so that you don't end up cutting your string, if that makes sense. So do you see how close I was when I was tacking that down? Like I'm coming up right here, not outside. And then I'm just gonna tack it down. Be careful you don't poke yourself in the finger. Come up. I hope you guys are having fun making these and that this is easy for you to learn. I really hope that doing this one video works out. If you do have any comments about how you want me to be more in depth with different little coup patterns, please let me know. I just thought that this would be a lot easier, and for those of you that, you know, learn these and then decide to make like 10 different ones, you know, you guys will already know how to make them, so you'll just be able to read the patterns. Okay, I'm done with this row. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look like some of these. Sometimes I start to get a little fast and I'll like accidentally skip a couple rows, so you'll see where there's places where it might need to be tacked down a little bit. So just go through your whole project and just kind of see if there's anywhere else that you want to be tacked down. Like right here, this one looks like it's sticking up a little bit. So I'm going to tack that down. And it looks pretty good. There's this one right here that needs to be tacked down. Yeah, that looks pretty darn good. Okay, so now we're just gonna go and flip it around and make a knot. Pull that knot flush to this edge. And then we're gonna cut it off. And I like to leave a little bit of a tail because it kind of will just, you know, grip onto the glue once we glue it on. So now you're gonna take your scissors and you're going to carefully go flush against that beaded edge. You don't want there to be too much white left over. Like you don't want it to be like you're cutting out here, okay? So you're just gonna take it and you're gonna cut along the edge, making sure that you're not cutting any of your previous stitches, okay? So just be careful when you do this. Okay. There's a stitch. Yikes. All right, I got it cut. Should look something like that. Discard of the leftover pellon, and I am going to grab my leather and glue. Okay, so now we are on to, well, you should have 2 rounds. I'm just doing the one just to show you guys right now. But you should have 2 rounds done. And now you're going to take your piece of leather, whichever color I gave you, and your glue. You're going to open it up, flip this around, and you're going to just glue. Don't get too close to the edge and don't use too much because you don't want it to leak over the edge, because then your stitching is going to be really annoying because you're going to have like hard glue to pass through on the leather. So just keep it kind of with a little bit of a perimeter around it. And then you're just going to press it onto the leather. Gently tap it down. And I like to just put something weighted on there. I'll put my, You guys don't put anything weighted on there. I don't want you to break your beads. Just let it rest right there, and it should be about 20 minutes, and you should be able to go on to the next step. Okay, you guys, so I just cut my round off of the leather. I recorded it, but I ended up messing up what I was saying, so I accidentally deleted the video, forgetting that I did a step without showing you. So when your round is on the piece of leather, you're just gonna cut around it. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your string and you're gonna tie your knot and cut it so that the knot is like there's a little bit left on the end. Do you see that? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna choose where you want your earring hook to be. So I want mine to face up right here. I'd think like I want it to be right here. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go in between these 2 rows right here. And I'm going to go right through to the other side. And I'm going to push through the leather until it's like up on the top. You don't want it to be stabbed through all the way. It's not a huge deal, but you'll just see the string on the other side, and I like to hide it. So I go up so that it's kind of coming out the top. Pull it all the way through till you feel that tension. Then you're going to take it and you're going to go over between the beads right there. And you're going to go through again. And you're going to do the same exact thing. And pull it through so that you kind of wrapped between these 2 beads. Now you're going to go through one more time. And I like to actually go through, like, I'll go through between these ones now, just to kind of even it out. And you're going to come up through the center between the pellon and the leather. So I don't know if you can see that. You're going to come up through the pellon and the leather. And now you're going to pick up 7, I'm pretty sure. Yep, so you're going to do, let me double check. Let me read this instructions really quick. Let me count how many were in there. 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure it's 6. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to pick up 1 white bead and then 6, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Let me make sure though that that's how many. I'm pretty sure I did. Where do I say it in the instructions? Sorry guys. I'm just gonna pause this. Okay, so the instructions say we're gonna pick up 7 beads and pull them down and find the best spot where they form the arch. So yeah, we're gonna pick up 7. So I have 7 beads right here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to just pull them like this. And I am going to put mine like right here. So you're gonna find where you want your arch to be, because these 2 beads, the 2 that are on the ends are gonna be sticking. They're gonna be they're not part of the arch. They're basically the ones that are on the base. I'm really bad at explaining stuff sometimes. I'm better at showing it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go between these 2 rows right here. And then you're going to come up through that last bead. Just like that. And I am going to do that again for you so that it makes sense. So now what we're going to do, since we just picked up 7, now we're going to pick up 6, because we already did this base one. This is why we needed the extra bead, was to just form this base bead right here. But from now on, we're just going to be going from here and then doing another base. Here, doing another base. So we're going to pick up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I'm able to eyeball it pretty easily, but and throughout time you won't have to always do this, like where you're finding where it's at, but to make it easier for you, just pull it down and then just kind of find where you want your needle to go through. I want mine to go right through here. Go between those 2 rows. And then go up. You're going to go up through that last bead right there. Just like that. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm gonna put it about right there between the 2 rows. There we go. And we're gonna come back up through that last bead, and we are going to repeat this all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just to double check, I'm going to pull this through and there we go. 3, 4, 5, 6. And you see how each time I'm kind of coming up through the top of this back leather. It's try to do that because then you won't see the string and it'll just look really nice and clean. Okay, so then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're almost done. Four, 5, 6. Right here, it gets kind of tricky sometimes, like once you get to the end, because these beads are all different shape, like sizes. So you might have to add more or subtract beads depending. Like we're not gonna have enough room to go all the way to this next one with only 6 beads. So I'm gonna try and pick 6 really small beads. 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And I'm gonna go like right here. And then for this last one, I'm just gonna have to do like 3 or 4. That's gonna bother me though. So you might have to do some adjusting. Like in order to make it look more even, I'm gonna take those 2 rows out and I'm gonna pick up 5 beads for each row. Just so that I shorten it by 1 bead and you can't really notice it too much. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I'm gonna go, yeah, like right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna do 5. This is where you're just gonna have to kind of mess around with it because, yeah, like I said, it's about 6 beads, but it'll vary depending on which ones you pick up because they all are different sizes, which is totally fine though because it just makes the earrings more beautiful, I think. I love when things don't look perfect. Okay, so for this last one, yeah, I guess we'll just pick up 5. You might only be able to pick up 4. It just depends. Just go with it. It's part of beading, is just figuring things out and making your own thing. So you see, you can't even tell that I only picked up 1 less of each bead. Okay, so now I should have showed you that. So now you're going to take your 5 or however many beads you have. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go back to this first bead right here and you're gonna go through it. You're gonna go through it and you're gonna bring your string to the front, just like that. And then we're gonna do exactly what we were doing before. We're gonna go through the second row between the first and second rows. And then we're gonna come back up through that same bead. See how my needle is? So we're gonna pull up through that same bead, and then I'm gonna pick up 6 white beads. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and make sure that they're uniform, like that they're pretty similar sizes because this is where the earring hook is gonna be. So now that we got our 6 beads, we're gonna go back down through that same bead that we just came up, and we're gonna go towards the front again. And see how it formed the earring loop? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna push back through and then go back up. And we're gonna go up through, we're gonna wrap around the earring loop a couple times. So I like to just kind of take my needle and go through the first 3. See that? And then you're gonna go back down the other side and then back up. There we go. And then back down. And I like to just pass through a couple times, and then you're gonna go back down that same bead that we were just passing through a bunch. And this is the final time, you guys. So now we're gonna stab back through, and I like to go just directly back into the deer skin. If I'm moving kind of fast, you can just rewatch this video. So now we are just going to tie off this bead. So all I want you to do is I want you to run your needle pretty flat and just glide it through this deer skin. See how I just kind of pulled it through the deer skin? Now I want you to go back and do it like a different direction, just wherever you want to go. And then we're gonna, okay, that got tangled there. What? I swear at the last moment, things always go wrong. Okay, so then we're gonna go back, and sometimes I even like to kind of go to the front, and then I'll just kind of wrap my string through, and then just pass through one more time, and we're gonna go right through like this. See how I have it there? I'm gonna pull this out, and then we're gonna pull the string tight, and be careful you don't snip anything else, but you're just gonna pull against it, snip it off, and there you go. You have yourself a finished piece of little Coo beadwork. Now we are going on to the next step. Obviously complete the second side, and then yes, I am going to show you guys how to put the cones on right now, and then we'll do feathers. Okay, now we are on to the next step. We are going to be working with the jingle cones. So I always give you more, like I think I give you like 1 or 2 extra cones per set, as well as extra wire so you can practice beforehand. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your jingle cone. So I have mine right here. And the narrow part, see the part that's tinier than the other side? We're going to take that, and you'll see there's a little, there's a fold, like a little fold line from where the metal folds over itself. We're going to take that and we're going to twist it, and we're going to twist it counterclockwise. And we're going to do that just to kind of close that hole a little bit more, as you can see right there. So once we do that to all of our cones, it's not like a complete must, but it definitely keeps them from the when you're working with the wire, from the wire pulling out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our wire, and we're going to take our round nose pliers, and we're going to pinch like 3/4 of the way back. I'm going to fold my wire just like that, and then I'm going to wrap it around itself. And I definitely pulled out way too little wire. It's fine for mine because I'm used to it, but I'm going to show you that again. But we're going to take our wire after we do that loop, and we're going to put it through here, and we're going to pull it till we feel that tension, like it's nicely stuck in there. So now I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go like right here in the middle, or on the at the end, but with that much room, like I'd say it's about an inch and a half. We're going to wrap it around to make a, I guess it'd be a P. And then we're going to wrap it around itself. You see how it makes a loop? And you don't have to get these perfect. It's just enough to make tension so that it prevents the wire from sliding through. I like to take the tail and I just push it down like this. And then what I do is I just clip a tiny bit. I like to keep the tail long on there because I feel like it's an extra, it's extra force for it to not pull through. So once again, we're gonna take our wire and pull it. And then you're gonna be doing this to 6 cones. I only have this one side, so I'm just gonna show you just like this. I am excited because I am going to keep these earrings. Okay. So now that I did that, I'm gonna take my cone and I'm going to go to the base right here. And I want you to pinch it about at like the 1/3 mark right there. And then you're gonna tilt it back like this. And then you're gonna wrap it around just like that. Do you see that? But we're gonna leave a gap. See how there's space right there? Okay, so now you're gonna look at your earring and you're gonna say, okay, so I have 3 cones, where do I want them? Obviously you want one right below the eye or the ear loop, and then you'll want one on both sides of the, normally these little spacer beads are the gap that I use for where I space my cones. So I'm gonna take the wire and I'm going to go through the center. See how I'm going through the center section? So I'm going to go through that and I'm going to wrap this around, and see, you want your hole to be wide enough to where you can slide it through these beads. And then once you do that, you're going to pinch the wire, keep it in your hand, don't undo the pinching. And you're just gonna wrap this wire all nice, just so that you can wrap it around the cone. I'm sorry, my husband's needing something. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So I already just did this one, but all I did was just clip off the end. I'm going to show you how to do it again. Give me 1 second. So we're going to take this cone right here, and we're going to pinch the bottom right at the base of the cone and the wire. You see that? Now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of angle it back that way to the left so that it starts forming the loop. And we're just gonna take our, I'm gonna pinch it a little bit further back so the hole's a little wider. Now we're just gonna wrap it around and bring it to the other side just like that. See? Now we're gonna go on, I want mine to be on both sides of these spacer beads, so I'm gonna go over to this next loop right here. I'm gonna wrap it through. But these are your earrings, guys, so you could place these wherever you want. And then I'm gonna take my pliers, pinch the bottom to keep that wire straight while I'm wrapping. And I'm just gonna wrap the wire around. And honestly, I love when it looks a little wild, so I'll just pass it back and forth. There we go. You see that? And then I'm going to clip it off. I'm clipping from the back because I have been using these for so long, they're a little dull, and that back side is a little sharper, but normally you just want to go in there and just kind of clip right from the front of the wire cutters. All right, so now we're going to do the last one. So I got my wire. I'm going to go on this side, and I'm going to loop it through. I'm going to pinch the wire, and then I'm going to just wrap it, pass it around a couple times. There we go. And then I'm going to cut it flush. There we go. And now you have a almost finished little coup earring. Next stop is feathers. Okay, you guys, so now it's on to the super exciting part, getting the feathers on. You're almost done. So what I did was I hope you can see them, they're so long. There, that looks better. Okay, so what I did was I took my feathers. You guys have a bag of feathers. You're going to undo them, and you're going to put them into 6 chunks. So there's 6 cones, right? 3 for each side. So you're going to do, I like to lay out 6 different sections. And I like to visualize them, how they're going to look as a pair. So these are mine, and I love the green iridescent ones. So I am doing, this is the center one, right and left cone. And then I will have one for the other side as well. So once I get those organized, I am going to take the first section, we'll start with the left, and get your glue ready. If you have some gloves, like some plastic gloves, you could put those on so you don't get your hands all gluey. And actually, beforehand, just put some glue in the first cone. So you just want to kind of weave it in there. You don't want too much, just enough to where it's, you know, like right at almost the top. Set this glue on something that you don't care about if it gets dirty, because it's probably going to leak a little bit. You're going to pinch your feathers. See how I pinched them? And kind of just hold them in your hand and get them to lay how you want to. Like some of them might be twisted, like this one's twisted a little bit. This one's a pretty short one, but I'll keep it in there. And then you're just going to hold it how you want, where you want it. I'm going to add this one a little bit further down because I'm going to clip these like right here. Okay, and then you're going to take your scissors. I'm going to do it over, but I'm going to clip right here. So I'm doing this onto the floor because I like to just do it onto the floor and then sweep it later. And so see how I clipped it so it's nice and clean? Now I'm just going to kind of pull those extra hairs to kind of make it a thin little chunk of feathers so that we can easily just stick it in the cone, just like so. You might have to work them a little bit and just push them in. And there you go, guys. First cone is done. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so beautiful. The feathers just add everything to these, you guys. They're so beautiful. So these are obviously mine, so I just picked out random feathers that I have in my feather bin, but you guys will all have feathers that kind of go very similar to the photos provided. So I handpick all the feathers for you. And yeah, so what you're going to do is you're just going to keep putting these feathers in here. I'll do the last cone with you guys. Oh, I forgot to glue it, sorry. So yeah, you're going to take your glue, put it in here. And then we're going to place the feathers inside. There we go. And make sure that they're laying flat, like facing the top, you know what I mean? And if they're not, you can kind of twist them a little bit while they're wet, but if you don't, then you'll have to twist the actual cone itself to get them to lay like that. Okay, so now we got this one. Okay. Kind of brush it forward, see how it lays. All right, you guys. I forgot to glue it again. You probably want to glue before you have the feathers in your hand, sorry. Okay. Let's make sure these are all together. Okay. Wow. They're so beautiful. They never get old. Like, I don't care how many of them I make or I see, I just think they're so beautiful. So there you have it, you guys, a little coup earring, all finished, and you guys did it yourselves, so you should pat yourself on the back because that is quite an accomplishment. I am super proud of you for doing this and finishing it. I just think it's awesome, and I just thank you so much for showing interest in my work. Right now I'm just adding a couple more feathers. I give you like all these tiny little ones, so I like to kind of add some of those in afterwards. Like right now I'm going to add like a little guy right here to kind of break up the green. Kind of let it, you know, flow a little bit more. I might add one more over on this side as well. All right. So pretty. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. And there you go, you guys. Finished. Oh, I forgot the earring hooks. I swear. So it's funny. I do all these very candidly, these videos, because I'm doing them with you guys. And so sometimes you guys witness me doing funny things. Okay, so I'm going to grab an ear hook. Here's my ear hook. Can't forget this part or else we can't wear them. Now we're going to pinch the loop. We're not going to pull it apart. We're going to just push it out to the left. Do you see that? So there's a little opening. Figure out where, which side is best for your loop, and then you're going to put it through there. And then close it. And then there you go, you guys. A handmade little coup earring. I hope that you had so much fun making these, and I hope that it was easy for you to learn. I hope that I made sense and didn't confuse you too much. If you guys have any constructive criticism on how I'm teaching these videos, feel free to send me an email. Also, obviously, positive testimonials. I would love testimonials if you guys and your finished pieces with, you know, just reviews so that I can share them with other people to keep spreading the word about the bead kits. So I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking interest in my work, and I hope you had fun. I hope you have a great day. God bless, and yeah, have a great day. Bye.